Good morning. My name is Tumi Tladi, and I'm coming through on Friday morning, the 18th of June 2021. Time is 26 minutes before 7 a.m. Why this early? Good question. In the meantime, let's launch our website and then we'll talk about what is the agenda for today. And this is going to be video number 15, I believe. Okay, so I don't usually record in the morning, but it's a perfect time because my day is gonna get hectic. So video number 15. So I'm gonna click this link that says app on Google Play Store. Okay, I don't need the website, I just need this link, and then I'm gonna go to this account. In fact, I'm signed in. This is interesting. Yes, I'm already signed in. Okay, what happens if I click account? Because what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna do the second service for Google Play. Previously, I did record a video and then did an episode on the service for my hosting provider where these web applications are being hosted, So yeah, so from this side, I don't know how to get to my portal because trust me, this is not what I'm looking for. However, nevertheless, let's go to play, I believe, google.com/console. Like I said, on this YouTube channel, the content you're gonna see, it's raw. I did not go through this before. It's only on my iPad when I do weekly administrative stuff, but what I'm saying is I did not turn on the computer and do this. This is the first time I'm doing this on this machine. So because I'm already signed in, and it's a proper account, I have multiple accounts, so this is the one I'm looking for. So this is my console as a Google Play developer. This is the account I have. So we're gonna check how do we end up having stuff like this here. So before I continue, please please share this content, please comment any thoughts that you might be having, and please do subscribe. This content, I put it together to help that one person. All of us, we are thinking of genius ideas in IT space. This is not for lawyers. This is not for people in beauty and fashion stuff. This is not for teachers. This is for all the people that are in IT space, particularly those that are writing code. And then for CUT students or any other student in any university, don't just go with the flow of the education, you're being taught, you have a textbooks in front of you. I mean, come on, you can identify what you can do and, use technology to resolve some issues. Speaking of that, I do have a new system that I would like to make some changes. Maybe I'll just add a class library today for a database, or maybe I'll provision a subdomain, or maybe I would create, I don't know, but I need to do something. So you see, I have identified something that's off, in our supermarket that I would like to, come up with a solution to attempt to resolve that, and it's going to be pretty awesome. It's also going to be making money in the process. So that's me right there. But you might be also the person who has an idea. So this is to show you what it takes, to have an idea, and then everything from idea to the money you need to spend on these services. You need to maintain the services, you need to grow as a developer, you need to keep up with technology, you need to understand the database, you need to understand all these things. Okay, so this is my portal. Cool. So this is how I end up having this is the store listing, okay, and this is how I end up having this on a public platform, and I'll talk about the images, how you end up having stuff like this. Google is very strict, and they're becoming more stricter and stricter and stricter and stricter and stricter and stricter by day. So these are live metrics, and the number one thing is this: they are experiencing longer than usual review times because of COVID-19. So these are my all apps, and then you can just look at what's happening. So it's going to take a while, and then we'll talk about this. I hope I can remember. And then this is my app, Identical Docs. I'm about to have another one. So this is the package name. Okay, it was last updated on the 13th of January 2021 in production. We'll talk about this. And then installed audience, because not everybody knows about this app. I don't market it that much, because I wanted to earlier this year, fixing all the necessary bugs and then school demand, but that's not an excuse. That is not an excuse. I know other reasons as to why. And then user acquisitions, Google Play rating, gross revenue. I have only one app, but I'm soon going to have a lot of them. So the status is in production, and this was the last updated. Okay, so this is how you get to see it. Identical Docs. So when it comes to, okay, but before I come here, let's go through certain things. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. Let's go to setup, because I think this is very important. Now, setup. Okay, no, let's start with the inbox. Google, it's becoming more aggressive. And one thing that's critical that should grab your attention is one of the messages. They said, let me go on the 4th of February. Now I have a lot of messages. Okay, user acquisition CSV, this is it's not relevant for me. Change to store listing, I said. It might be relevant, and then this one, but this one. They said starting August 2021, new apps will be, firstly, new apps will be required to target API level 30, which is Android 11, and use the Android app bundle publishing format. Starting November 2021, all app updates will be required to target the same API level, which is Android 11. Apps with a download size of more than 150 megabytes are now supported by Play Asset Delivery and Play Feature Delivery. Please, these announcements, I kept on bumping into them, and then they go directly in my inbox, and then I get to see this. So this is a critical one for Identical Docs, because currently it's targeting API level 29. So previously I did wrap up a series on Social Explorer, and then now I'm on services. I wanted to start with the services because they're critical. When I show the website out there in public, where is it hosted? How do I host it? Why that company? Also, the mobile app is currently now on Google Play Store, and how do I do that? And then soon, like I said, at the place where someone's gonna hire me, and then because I'm good, I'm very too good, someone's gonna hire me to become a developer, develop something, and then with what they're gonna be paying me for my goodness, I'm gonna buy Apple MacBook. I might go for Pro, it depends on the salary, but I want a device that's gonna be investment in my career, and then that's when I will start now deploying this version of my app, the iOS, into App Store. Okay, so now currently, and you see there are no changes because I'm too careful about this. Currently, this is the minimum. We don't care about the minimum. The target Android version is Android 10, which is API level 29. Now, recently, a couple of days ago, I think almost a week ago, I went with Android 11. Actually, my Visual Studio, after I upgraded it, it told me that I can also get the necessary SDK, so I can move. In fact, I'm gonna do so, but privately, not live, so that I can check some issues, because there's something else that's a bit scary. There's something else that's a bit scary that these people know, because there's a trade-off that I made. Let me see if I can't get into my Gmail, because I want to show you something. There's another email that came through that they were telling me about Android manifest file. So it seems like it's not in here. Yeah, no, it's not in here. Yeah, and it's not in here. But I can't have 4 items. I should have a lot of messages. Okay, nevertheless. Okay. What is the policy status? This thing was in here. It wasn't here. So no issues found with your developer account. There may be issues with individual apps. They know these people. I'm not gonna go there now. User permissions. So you should know if you're developing with someone else, you might have some other users. You can give them a different permissions. So that one is up to you. And of course, I'm only a single independent developer. Yes. And then this one, it's a different user that comes somewhere else. And then yeah. Okay. But like I said, I meant to check something. I'm telling you, there is the thing that's a bit scary. Oh, by the way, if your update is live, after you pushed it, and then you get a notification on this, your update is live. But I'm talking about something that's more recent, not last year. Yeah, they keep on mentioning stuff, these people. Okay, let me quickly check to see if I can't bump into that. Because there's something I remember specifically. Okay, I don't know where that email is. Okay, but it really has to do with my Android manifest file where they know I did something and they're telling me that this cannot be supported anymore. So yeah, order management, that's where, please, some of these things I don't have them enabled because I don't collect money. My app is free, so download reports, you can download the reviews and all that. Account details, I think this one is critical. Okay, so you need to be able to provide stuff like this. I also have a developer account ID. I don't think can be used anywhere else. So I know these are sensitive stuff, but yeah, I can give you some tips on certain things. You need this ID to get in touch with the Google Play team to say I have issues 1, 2, 3, blah 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 blah. Okay, and then there's a developer page. So developer page is what appears here. A developer, you can read about who the person is, right? So if I do right click, open a new page, so there's a developer page. So this is where you set up the name of the developer, the address, and then the promotion text, and then the website, and then the icon, developer icon. And then they are very strict with how big it's supposed to be, so I had to research. I didn't know these things. You see, that's the point I'm getting to, that we like this enthusiastic mindset, and there's nothing wrong with that, but the problem is when we don't count the cost of how to get the work done. There's a difference between someone who is enthusiastic about something, and then there's a completely different person who is enthusiastic, also knows how to get the job done. Because then you need to be able to have someone who's gonna get your images right, stuff like that, proper images, okay, this one I can do. Yes, my app. Why did I not do this? I can also share my developer page somewhere else. So yeah, so this is basically information about me. So let me just get access to that. Save. There we go. Cool. Yeah, they do have a lot of please read these things. They are very, very important. I'll make time to read all of these things. Okay, so associated developer account, I've never seen this before. Activity log, I know that one. Okay, and then there is a setup. So you can do the email lists. Like I said, this is not going to be a long video. And now this list is very important. Create and manage email list to use when testing your app. This is very important. You have flexibility to do something like this. Have a friend, whom you would ask, if they can be testers. I have a friends list, a developer list, a colleague list, and then I'm gonna put you in a list when I deploy into a testing. I think it's testing what? We'll take a look at it. I remember production testing. There's a terminology come after that, but yeah. But for testers, before it goes into production, so they can test it, and then they can just get an email notification to say, hey, there's a link for you to download this copy and so forth. So this is very important. Pricing template, game objects, license testing, payment profile, API access. Now some of these things are too much. Okay, is this all? Okay, this is weird. Is this all? Okay, so here you can check the app itself, and it's by the way, it's quite expensive to have a Google developer account. It's quite expensive, so be sure that you know what you're getting yourself into, but you only do it once. You only pay it once. Difference between Google Play Store and Apple Store, it's that when it comes to developer accounts, in Google it's a once-off fee. In Apple you have to renew it yearly, and it's quite expensive. If it's not 2.5 right now, I don't know how much it is. So you can see how many active devices that are running in one country. Speaking of countries, because this is South African product, I was thinking, because now this is YouTube content, people like to see this in action. I was thinking of, let's allow other people to see what's happening. Maybe, I don't know, I'll see. So your KPIs, new users required, or rather acquired, you see that when you lose the users and when. I keep on checking this. Daily ratings, crashes, and Android not responsive. I don't have metrics, but I also track these crashes using App Center. It's another service I will do. Maybe I should do with that. Yeah, I think it's gonna be the next one, App Center. Because another thing about how do I end up having these changes, a new version on the actual store, how do I end up having it? So my size is 21 megabytes. It's relatively huge, but we'll talk about this also. But the point is, I don't just upload it using this portal. You can do it, but I don't do it this way. I use CI and CD pipeline. We'll talk about it. That's where the App Center comes in. So store listing performance, and then and then Android vitals, then traffic source, top countries, crash rate, Android not responsive rate, ratings and reviews, and then you can check them, the app size, and then the pre-launch report. This is something critical. So I have pushed a lot of APKs, okay, a lot of them, and they will tell you how many issues. I want to explore something here. Can we do the next page? The next tab. And then they will tell you about total issues for APK 15. I think this is the most recent one. Yes, this one. So you see, I used to have in 13, 36 issues. In 14, I would have 18. Now 15, I introduced another one. Please check this. This is not Papa and Flaisney. Check this. These things are important. But for security, it's a big deal. Accessibility, for people that are okay, I need to be careful about this topic, but yeah. And for performance, there are some issues. Stability, these things, they need to be checked. So in total, there are 19. I'm aware of this. So let's see if we can get something. I want to try this, try a Firebase test lab in future, because as a developer, like I said, you have to adapt to growth, the changes and everything. So yes, but I can also use App Center because they have a lot of apps to test, a lot of devices to test your app. Okay, so they said APK tested on 5 different devices. Warnings found, recommend fixing before release to production. You see that for stability, they have some issues. So let's see the summary. They're talking about non-SDK API. Some of these things, some of us, we don't understand them. I don't understand them. And then Land, Droid, View, Computer Feed, System, Windows. Yeah, but you can look at more information about it. You need to be able to give yourself time to do this. For performance, 5 issues were found. They're talking about cold start. They're talking about how long it takes for my app to launch the very first time after being installed a device model. So this is a problem. But Xamarin Forms teams, they're aware, and then in the new evolution of Xamarin Forms, which is .NET MAUI, they're promising that they're working on the metrics to get this thing down. Okay, and then slow rendering, 0% of frames took more than 700 milliseconds to render. It's a bit of a problem. And then cold start again, so this is a bit longer. And then slow rendering 4%. So yeah, you need to look at this. And then we have accessibility. When it comes to touch, low contrast, content labeling, yeah. And then there's no security. At least I'm proud of myself that there haven't been any security, which is good. You can see the report history, 13, 14, 15. Deployed on the 1st of October, 6th October, 8th October, then when it was generated, but I haven't been having security issues. And then, but I've been seeing the consistency with the stability, and then there's a performance, but mostly accessibility. But it seems like I've managed a lot, because when you start developing, you're writing code, you're like a dummy developer. I hope it's not offensive. And then you're becoming like more junior, now intermediate, and now you're more senior like us, the geniuses. I like to call myself a genius because, yeah, I am a genius. So there's a pre-launch report. It's very imperative. It's absolutely important. You can also see some of these things here. So yeah, I did spend time looking at these things, So yeah, and then I was looking at this thing. This thing. Okay. So here you can read about the policy, app content. Please, these things that are important. You need to be compliant with Google. You need to be compliant. Everything about what you do, it needs to pass. Everything, content ratings, the audience that you intend to target. You need to be compliant. Or else Google is not going to approve it, especially for the very first time. And then this is monetized. We're not into money. Ratings, you can get your ratings, and then Android Vitals, the overview, how is it performing. You can check the crashes, and then Android not responsive. My app has never been there, but I can view more information. So performance, and then the app size, crashes, and then Android not responsive. You need to check these things. Make sure you turn these things on. They're critical. Okay, let's give it a second. Okay, and then now when it comes to store settings, how your app is organized on Google Play. So you would choose, productivity, app, so you choose a lot of things. Yes, store listing corner details, and then advertise. In fact, I should do this now. Yeah, no, I should do this thing now, because I've been receiving a lot of emails that telling me stuff, and machines is saved. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna give myself time on my iPad to do this. I can do tags, I did add multiple tags, and then main store listing, and then store performance, how many people visit your store, something like that. Yes, and then this is a critical thing, this is the stuff that appear here, here, this platform are designed short and then longer descriptions, all of this you get to write down, and then so you get to do that. And then graphics, the icon itself, the feature graphic, and then the video if you have any video, and then these are the phone screenshots. Funny enough, they will tell you how many do they want, and then they get to check your app and approve it. So I was smart enough to put this content. You see, we don't have people that come to us and tell us that you should do this one, not do this one, because 8 out of 8. And then for tablet, they forced me to have something for tablet. They want to see if it can run, and then they double checked it. So I didn't even know that I should have the emulator. So my laptop was running slow because I don't usually work with the emulators. So they tell you, they become specific, these people. So, but it was a nice experience for me to know about this. Okay, and then setup, what we're setting up here, app integrity. Now let's leave that one. App bundle explorer, device catalog, this for devices. I want to come to testing. So you can have an open test, a closed test, internal test, pre-registry, a registration, pre-launch. Please, you need to do these things. You need to do these things before you go into production. Please, you need to do this thing. Closed test, internal test. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to learn to be disciplined to test it before it goes out there, before you use your Facebook to market your app. Please, you need to do this the right way. And there is a way to, tell this, that go to testing, and then we go for production. So this is production. I can also tamper with the countries because I don't know if I should allow other countries. I don't know, but no, I don't think so, because it's meant for South African. So release stability, and then the crashes. There hasn't been any crashes. Android. This is in production right now. All the installs and uninstalls, when, and then all that. Okay. So these are the releases. I pay attention to releases, and then I check the summary, and then how many devices, and then yes, I can go to view release details. This is where you end up writing something like this, what's new, and you need to be careful of what you write here, because it can turn people off. And then countries, this is where you go for countries, only this one, but you can add more other countries if you want to. And then so basically that's it. And then the dashboard, and then the inbox and statistics. So yes, now you've seen my developer, me. I can have modern apps, it's gonna be interesting. You can check my website, so and then I want to finish with the dashboard. Okay, we know dashboard. Now the first thing that you need to be aware of is the name of the app. It is a proper icon, and it needs to be an icon for all. It needs to be everywhere. You see there's my logo there, that's everywhere. The name, please do, if it's a company, go with a company. If it's your name, write names. Make sure it's easy, searchable on Google Play Store. Choose if it's going to be productivity, this app category, and all that. And then make sure that you can test these things. That's why you should go for testing route first before the store. You can test how they look like. Write a proper description. I still need to edit this description. And then now you need to pay attention to the size, how many installs, the content. This is very important. Google doesn't play when it comes to, is this thing for whom? And also it requires 5 and up. I think we remember 5. This is where I'm not 5 and then up. I just need to go to Android 11, and then the current version. We remember the current version. We know where this is coming from, and this is where it's coming from, and I'm making use of this. Don't change this thing. Do not change it. And then offered by me, and then information about me, And then permissions, I'll talk about permission in a second. User interact, shares, location. Yes, so the last thing I think is going to be this one, permissions, and I'll be done. Now, this app has access to photos, media, and files. Let me explain this. Photos, because you can upload images. Not just the images. The images can be, you know how we take pictures of, we can scan documents, right? They tend to be sometimes images, like JPEG. And then media, it can also be like PDFs, like documents, like files generally. Read the contents of your USB storage, modify or delete contents, but it doesn't modify. Now the microphone, I'm gonna do a small video on why the access to microphone, and we'll probably do a live test, you know, because it's imperative. I'll ask one of my friends to borrow me their phones. The storage, it reads the contents of your USB to get access to these files. Okay, and then the Wi-Fi, we need to know if it can work while it's online or offline. That's where I disable so many things when it's offline. And the location, it needs the location. It needs to know the exact location, you know, to get access to know where the client is, and then where the customer, not where the customer is, but where the client is, where the business is located. And then mock locations also for testing, view network connection, control vibration, yes, because it vibrates, and having full network access. So these are important because Google reviews them, especially location. They don't play games when it comes to location. So yeah, these are critical things. So this was important and imperative that I explain, you know, that you need to take this into account. It is separate research. Take it into account how it's gonna look like when it comes to Apple Store. It's a complicated thing. Apple is complicated company with complicated processes. Google, it's only now that you know, being too uptight right now. So, but yeah, I believe this was imperative. I really hope that it was imperative. Why are they saying in review? I don't have anything in review. Wait, I don't have anything in review. Oh, when I make the changes, those things. Okay. Yes, there is. What you've told us, item listed here aren't published, but we'll take them into account when reviewing your app. You know, I said do not market this thing. And then yes, okay, no, it doesn't affect, but okay, now I understand what happened there. Yeah. Okay, so I think the next one is gonna be imperative, that how do I get my app in Google Play Store? Eventually, how does it end up in here? So that's where the App Center comes in. It's a nice powerful service, although they removed most of the things. And then I'm more interested in if .NET MAUI is still gonna make use of App Center. So yeah, be on the lookout for that one. For now, I think we are done. Yes, and please update your app as required. It's just that this one, it's not that simple for me to do this. Do 11. It's not simple because there's something on Android manifest file. There's something so that I need to work on. It has to do with the files and everything, the permissions, you know. Yeah, so I need to do a research first before I do that. So yeah, this was it. I hope this was informative. Yeah, because like I said, I promised on the overview that I'm gonna be transparent about the services that I've used to make this system happen, and then for future systems, you know, because we have to learn the hard way the very first time before we can get it right. Unfortunately, I'm not a company. No one taught me these things. I had to teach myself these things. You see, my personal opinion with regards to universities, they should integrate stuff like this in their syllabus or curriculum. These things are important. These kids that are now students, they work in there. Like I was a kid back in first year. I didn't know anything. That's our question. var1, num1, what is the method, static, boolean string. I didn't know anything of such nature, but then I had to teach myself all these things. So we need a proper education system in IT, not what they think it's important. They need to listen to people like us. With that being said, thank you very much.